Hey Brian,
Yeah, Ben?
you know what's been my dream for years?
What?
My dream is to meet William Shakespeare. You know, the guy who wrote The Taming of Shrew. I want to know what this book's about and what was his life? What was it like? Could you help me find him?
Uh, yeah, sure, I guess. But, where does he live?
I think I have an idea.
Hey Ben, do you think it's a good idea to take this boat, like, all the way across the ocean to England? Like, have you ever thought this through?
No, not really.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting journey!
Well, we made it. Stratford upon Avon, the birthplace of William Shakespeare. We can't find him here, and I don't know where we would find him.
I hate to break it to you, but, William Shakespeare's been dead for, hundreds of years now, man.
What? Why didn't you tell me this before?
I really don't know, but I did find this old book here.
What does it say?
The complete bibliography of William Shakespeare and the complete works of the Taming of the Shrew.
Awesome. Why don't you read it?
Okay.
William Shakespeare was born on April 23rd, 1564, in Stratford upon Avon, England, and died on April 23rd, 1616, at the age of 53. His parents were John Shakespeare, a leather merchant, and Mary Arden, a land heiress. William was the third child born out of 6 children in his family. There are no records of Shakespeare ever attending school, but based on his writing abilities in his plays, we believe that when he was young, he probably went to King's New School in Stratford. There they were taught reading and writing.
When he turned 18, he married a lady named Anne Hathaway. Together they had 3 children named Susan, Hamnet, and Judith, which were twins. Sadly, Hamnet died at the age of 11 to unknown causes. Despite this, William founded the Lord Chamberlain's Men, and later renamed the King's Men, where they would perform plays. The 37 plays he wrote had many themes: comedies, tragedies, histories, and tragic comedies. The play that we're going to talk about is The Taming of the Shrew. Shakespeare was inspired to write this play from different folk tales and ballads about shrewish wives being tamed by their aggressive husbands. He thought the topic would create a troubling comedy that explored Elizabethan issues of gender.
At the start of the play, a drunken man named Christopher Sly gets kicked out of a bar and passes out on the ground. During that time, a lord happens to be passing by when he sees Sly pass out on the ground. He is disgusted at the sight of Sly. So, he decides to do a complex prank and to teach Sly a lesson. The Lord brings Sly back to his mansion, and when Sly wakes up, he is confused and tries to cite his true identity. They tell Sly that he is a lord and has been in a coma for the past 15 years. Sly then gets acquainted with his so-called wife, and a theater group shows them a play called The Taming of the Shrew. In the very start of The Taming of the Shrew, the scene is located in the beautiful city of Padua, Italy. Lucentio, a wealthy young man, is with his servant Tranio.
They overhear and see a man named Battista and his 2 gorgeous daughters talking to 2 suitors named Gerio and Hortensio. Battista tells the suitor to stop begging for permission to marry Bianca, his youngest daughter, because no one will be able to marry Bianca until her older sister Kate gets married. The problem with this is Kate is so outspoken and disobedient that no man in Padua wants to marry her. Because of Kate's notorious bad attitude, Bianca's chances of being married is literally impossible. When Lucentio and Tranio hear this, Lucentio is merely attracted and in love with Bianca because she is quiet and not outspoken. Geronimo and Hortensio come up with a plan to work together to find a suitor that will marry Kate in order for them to compete for Bianca's love. Also, during that time, Hortensio assumes a disguise as a music tutor, Lucio, for Bianca. Lucentio and Tranio hears this as well and devise a plan for Lucentio to be disguised as a Latin tutor, Cambio, to get close to Bianca and make her fall in love with him. While that happens, Tranio disguises himself as Lucentio to do Lucentio's other duties. Then, a man by the name of Petruchio, another wealthy young man, comes along and immediately hears about Kate from his friend Hortensio. He finds her virtuous and lovely, and he's determined to tame her, and after talking to Battista, Kate's father, Petruchio asks to speak with Kate.
In Act 2, Scene 1 of The Taming of the Shrew, we first see Petruchio and Kate together for the very first time. Petruchio goes through some different scenarios in his monologue, which basically acts as a counter to everything Kate might say. The conversation between Kate and Petruchio is very brutal. They go a few rounds at each other, where Kate insults Petruchio, and he twists and turns her words in order to tame the shrew. Right now, we are at the point where Petruchio is talking to Baptista, Kate's father, about marrying Kate. Baptista agrees to his proposal and brings Kate in.
Go with me, and not be so discomfited. Proceed and practice with my young daughter. She apt to learn and thankful for good turns. Signor Petruchio, will you go with us? Or shall I send my daughter Kate to you?
I pray you do. I will attend her here. And woo her wordsome spirit when she comes. Say that she rail. I'll tell her plain that she sings as sweetly as a nightingale. Say that she frown. I'll tell her she looks as clear as the morning roses, newly washed with dew. Say she be mute, and not speak a word. Then I will commend her on her volubility, and say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she bid me pack, I'll give her thanks, as though she bid me stay by her a week. If she denied to be wed, I'll crave the day when I shall ask the bands